Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Let's turn our attention to women's basketball. And with us, junior guard Dena Droste. And Dena, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The Bulldogs, like the men's team, here in the middle of conference action. You started North Division play this past week, and a long road trip to the Upper Peninsula. Just talk about what that trip is like, having to make that journey to Houghton, Michigan.
It's definitely a long trip, that's for sure. For the women's side, we knew going up there we were going to play two great teams, and it definitely wasn't the outcome that we wanted, and it wasn't the way we wanted to start the North. But we looked at the film as a team recently, and we picked out the negatives and positives, and we're very optimistic about this weekend and the future games to come. So,
as we go to the highlights of Thursday's game at Michigan Tech, you mentioned a very good team, ranked in the top 25 in the country, and certainly a tough team to beat on their home floor with the fan support they have behind them.
Absolutely. Going to Tech, we always know that with that environment, it's kind of a hostile environment with the band and everything like that. We came out ready to play, though. We were up at halftime, and we just didn't finish the game. And we kind of talk about this all the time, how we kind of beat ourselves. We need to take more pride in our possessions and really focus on personnel. We just let them make cuts, and we didn't have the energy in the second half to put them away. So, like you said, they're a ranked team in the nation, but we were right there with them the whole time. So that's definitely a positive thing to take away from that game.
As you mentioned, the Bulldogs up here at halftime, coming out in the second half. You kind of talked about it on possessions, turnovers, too many turnovers here in the second half.
Absolutely. Yeah, we kind of just playing around with the ball a little bit too much. We just need to have a more of attacking mentality. But we're definitely working on that in practice this week, and positive things to come.
Certainly you'll get another chance at Michigan Tech here in a couple weeks as they make the trip back to Big Rapids, and probably a lot you can learn off a film like this with the way the second half unfolded.
Yes, and as you can see in the film, we gave them a lot. We turned the ball over. I think we had 20-some turnovers, and they only had 5, so we can definitely pressure the ball a lot more, and hopefully the outcome will be different when they come to Big Rapids.
You fall in the Michigan Tech game, but not much of a time between games. You turn right back around on Saturday then and take on another good basketball team in Northern Michigan.
Right, yeah, and that was the same thing, turnovers. It resulted in turnovers in our energy. Our spark came too late in the game, and that's where we really got to focus on bringing that energy right at tip-off. So.
Certainly in the Northern Michigan game, a little unlike the Michigan Tech game, it was a close first half. Here, Northern Michigan jumps out early before you're able to make a second half run to get back in the ball game.
Yeah, we again, personnel. It came down to personnel right here. We knew she was a great shooter, and we got stuck in a screen. So that was just communication issues. And in the second half, we definitely came out with more energy. But when they got a lead at half, you can't really trade baskets. We got to definitely jump on them, and we just couldn't close the gap enough. So.
We saw a couple shots from Hannah Hoffman, a senior, stepped out and did a nice job of hitting down some jumpers.
Yes, absolutely. She played phenomenal. They sagged off of her, and she took advantage, and we're definitely looking forward to her playing like that for the rest of the year.
Certainly mixed it up here in the second half, a little bit of man-to-man, a little bit of zone. As a player, what would you rather play?
I like man-to-man, but certain teams, you got to just play different defenses, and I think we're successful at both. We're a team that kind of likes to mix it up and throw different looks at teams so we're not very predictable. And I think that works a lot of the times, but man-to-man, if we're all on the same page and we're jumping the drives and all that stuff, we can cause a lot of chaos. So. As
a shooter playing here at the Barry Event Center, talk about how different that is with so much open space back there in the middle of the ice sheet.
Right, it's a lot different look. Feels like it takes a lot more to get it there, just with the court being there, and then obviously the bleachers are pulled in there, and there's a lot of backdrop back there, so it's definitely a different look, and it's kind of hard to adjust as a shooter, but Hannah Hoffman figured it out.
The Bulldogs, you got down by 19, but you cut it all the way back inside of 7 points, and certainly had an opportunity to get even closer than that here going down the stretch.
Yep, and I think that's a true test of what this team is about. We always come to practice and never give up attitude, and I think that's really going to show through towards the end of the year. We're kind of in a slump right now, but with that attitude, it won't stay like that very long. So.
You mentioned a little bit of a slump, but you come back at home, and no better place to try to turn that around than back at Wink Arena this weekend, hosting Northwood in Lake Superior.
Yep, we're excited to play it back at the Wink and have our home crowd there, and we're taking on two great opponents, but we're pretty confident that we can get them if we just fix small mistakes of ours, and I think we'll be all right.
Two important games here with Northwood and Lake Superior, both right in the middle of the conference standings, along with the Bulldogs, and certainly need a couple wins here to try to keep pace in the GLIAC North.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this earlier too. We're right in the middle, and it's kind of in between. We got to get a top spot to get in the GLIAC tournament, and we're taking one game at a time. But these two teams or Northwood at least is ahead of us right now, so we got to focus on Northwood on Thursday and get that win so we can jump up right there with them in the rankings.
What have you seen from Northwood or Lake Superior, and what do you expect out of these two teams in terms of their style of play and what they like to do?
Northwood loves to push the ball in transition. They have a lot of threats on that team, so communication is going to be huge for us, as well as Lake Superior. Lake Superior battles every game, and so they're going to take us right down to the wire too, I'm sure, so we got to come ready to play.
I know you're here in your junior year at Ferris State. We're a transfer originally from Kent State. Talk about the adjustment, how it's been here, being a part of the Bulldog program the last 2 or 3 years.
It's been such a blessing being a part of Ferris State women's basketball. The girls on the team we're truly a family, and there's no place I'd rather be. We got a great coach leading us, and that brings energy every day, and I can't describe it in words how thankful I am to be here and to be a part of such a great program.
I know you've battled some injuries in your career. Talk about what it takes to battle through those injuries and still be a factor on the court.
It's tough. With every knee surgery, it's definitely a setback, and it kind of limits me to what I can do. But just extra time in the weight room, strengthening my knee, and learning to adjust my shot a little bit. I kind of push off more of my right leg than my left. But you just find ways, whether it's driving to the basket because I don't have enough push off of my legs to get it from the three-point line, or just being a leader. There's a lot of different things that I can do out there, so I'm kind of adjusting, and each season it seems like I've had a different role, but I've liked it. So it's I think it's a blessing, but figuring it out.
I know the Bulldogs, you mentioned leadership, have a good group of seniors this year. Talk about what they've done in terms of leadership to help lead this team.
They've given so much to this program. They come every day, and there's 4 of them, so that makes it even more great. But we want to win. We want to get in the GLIAC tournament, and we want to get in the NCAA tournament. We have a lot of expectations of this team because we're so talented. And they just bring the energy every day. They lift us up when we're down, and we're only going up, so that's how they're looking at it, and that's our mindset now too as underclassmen. And
you mentioned the GLIAC tournament here in the second half of the season. What does it take for the Bulldogs to get in the GLIAC tournament and make a run here towards the end of the year?
We got to take care of business. We got to figure out the things that aren't allowing us to win right now, and we just got to come out with a never give up attitude like we have been, and even more so. And I think we'll be all right. We'll get in the tournament. So.
Dena, thanks for being with us today. Best of luck to the Bulldogs as you play at home this Thursday and this Saturday.
Yep, thank you.
That's going to do it for another episode of Ferris Sports Update. Reminder, you can follow all the action online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.